Draupadi, a short story by Mahasweta Devi, is a powerful narrative that delves into themes of oppression, resistance, and the brutal realities of the marginalized in Indian society. The story, originally written in Bengali and translated into English, is a poignant and harrowing depiction of the tribal woman's struggle against systemic violence and injustice. It centers on the character Draupadi Mejan, also known as Draupadi, a tribal woman and a member of the Naxalite movement in West Bengal during the 1970s. Draupadi Mejan, known as Draupadi, is introduced as a fierce and resilient tribal woman involved in the Naxalite movement. The Naxalites are a group of radical communists seeking to overthrow the government and fight for the rights of the oppressed. Draupadi and her husband, Dulna, are both wanted by the authorities for their involvement in this armed struggle. The story begins with the capture and killing of Dulna by the government forces. Dulna's death is brutal and meant to send a message to the rebels. Despite his death, the authorities are still intent on capturing Draupadi, believing she holds significant information about the Naxalite operations. The police, led by Officer Senanayak, launch a manhunt for Draupadi. They employ various tactics, including the use of informants and tracking Draupadi's movements. The narrative highlights the relentless pursuit and the oppressive measures employed by the authorities to crush the rebellion. Draupadi is eventually captured by the police. Her capture is portrayed as a significant victory for the authorities, who hope to extract valuable information from her through interrogation. The narrative shifts to depict Draupadi's stoic resilience in the face of her impending torture. Draupadi is subjected to severe torture in an attempt to break her spirit and force her to betray her comrades. The methods of torture are described in graphic detail, illustrating the inhuman treatment meted out to political prisoners and the extreme measures taken by the state to suppress dissent. Despite the brutal torture, Draupadi refuses to yield. Her defiance is emblematic of her inner strength and unwavering commitment to the cause. The authorities, particularly Senanayak, are frustrated by her resilience and lack of cooperation. The climax of the story occurs when Draupadi, stripped and humiliated, confronts Senanayak. Instead of succumbing to shame, she stands naked and defiantly questions her torturers. This act of resistance is powerful and symbolic, turning the tables on her oppressors by exposing their brutality and moral bankruptcy. Senanayak, who has prided himself on his control and power, is taken aback by Draupadi's boldness. Her defiance challenges his authority and exposes the hollow nature of the state's power. This moment underscores the theme of resistance and the indomitable spirit of the oppressed. Draupadi's character can be seen as a symbol of resistance against systemic oppression. Her name, reminiscent of the epic character Draupadi from the Mahabharata, draws parallels to the mythological figure who also faced public humiliation. However, unlike the mythological Draupadi who was saved by divine intervention, Draupadi relies on her own strength and courage. The story ends on a note of unresolved tension, with Draupadi's fate left uncertain. However, her act of defiance remains a powerful statement against the injustice and brutality of the state. Mahasweta Devi's narrative not only highlights the plight of tribal women but also serves as a critique of the socio-political system that perpetuates violence against the marginalized. The central theme of Draupadi is resistance against oppression. Draupadi's unwavering spirit in the face of brutal torture exemplifies the strength and resilience of the oppressed. Her refusal to be broken by the state's violence serves as a powerful testament to human dignity and the fight for justice. The story explores the intersection of gender and power. Draupadi's public humiliation is not just an act of personal violence but a means of reinforcing patriarchal and state control over women's bodies. Her defiance challenges these power structures and reclaims agency over her own body.